Hello? Hello? Yeah, am I audible to everyone? Yeah, am I audible to everyone? Yeah, thanks Utkarsh for letting me know that I'm audible. And welcome to your first Ionic development webinar. Okay, I think we should wait for like 2 more minutes so that everyone who wanna join us, they can join us. Okay, so I think we should start now. Uh, as I think now the video might be clear to you guys. Okay then. Then we'll start with the agenda. So as you all know, we provided you an agenda that we start with like what is INEC and how it is like useful to everyone, and then we'll go and check out its new project as well. And then we'll go with the component part, and then we'll go like building a basic app and understand the build phase. Okay. So let's start this up. The main part, the main part that I want to discuss first is like what is Ionic. So in Ionic, like what do we do and what is Ionic and how it's done and what we can do with that and all that stuff. So for that, I just want to like answer or before answering this, I just want to know like what all do you guys know about it? Like, do you know the prerequisites like it is JavaScript and all that? So, do you have installed that in your PC right now? For that, I just want like or before answering this, I just want to know what all do you guys know about it? Like, do you know the prerequisites like it is JavaScript and all that? So, do you have installed that in your PC right now? Okay then. So I'll quickly go through with like what is Ionic and how it's and what's gonna do for you guys and what habit development exactly is. So to answer that question, Ionic. Ionic is actually a hybrid development framework which you can use to develop hybrid mobile apps, like both for iOS and Android, and you can even develop for Windows as well. But nobody prefers Windows these days, so you can say like you can only use it for like mainly for iOS and Android. Now, why we choose Ionic and like what is it and why it is different from React Native right now and in Vue maybe. So I can say like you can use Ionic for mainly like two purposes. First one is to get your work done in a single code base, and the second thing is to manage your code base in a modular and a simpler way. Now, for like how we can manage that and how we can make our code more modular and all that, we can like keep that thing like for our next webinar. But currently, I just like want to let you know what difference is like. Currently, we have like more around four versions of Ionic in the market, like Ionic 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the Ionic 4 version is like latest one. So I just want to like go through like what is the difference and all that. But before that, I just want you guys to like install if you have not installed the Ionic CLI and the Cordova in your PC yet. So guys can go ahead and use this. Just a second, I'll share my screen with you. Jatin, as you're asking, like, what are the options after core Java? So I think we can answer that in our AMA after this section. And Piyush, if you're not able to install Ionic, then please do check like you are using the right command for that, or you are using the right for that. Okay. Well, do you have Node installed in your computer, like the Node latest version, or at least like version 8? Because for that, like you need npm to install it, and then you can like simply use this command. I'll show you in a second. Are you able to like view this video right now? Because I think I'm facing some internet issues currently, which I'm not sure about. So as Piyush, I should start with that one. So you said that you are unable to install Ionic, right? So I just want to like confirm what command did you use? I'll write a command for you directly. So please try that command in your system. So it should be something like this. Use -g for installing it globally, and then this, and then Cordova as well. It will directly provide you the latest version. It should be npm actually. Yeah, like this. So it will solve your problem. I don't think anything is required other than this command. Make sure that you are running the cmd from your admin. If you have Windows, and if you have Mac, then use the sudo command before npm. If it is prompting you to like install it using the admin. Okay. Okay, so I think I should also write the commands that you need to install to start making a new project actually, which I can show you directly. Just a second. So till the time I'm like switching to my terminal right now, like can anyone tell me that do you have any experience with Ionic like 1 or 2 or 3, or if you're on 4, that's great actually. So if you have any, if anyone has some experience with that. Okay, so I'll proceed with like how you can create your first project with Ionic. So for that, you have to use this command. Like after installing Ionic, the Ionic variable will be available globally on your system. So you can use that directly. So just write Ionic start. If you just like type Ionic start and go ahead with that and press enter, then the CLI will prompt you for your information regarding like the project's name, like which template do you want to start with, and all stuff like that. Uh, so for that, yeah, now my voice is clear, Maninder. I hope my voice might be clear now. If it isn't, then please like tell me. Okay. So the next thing that we should like use, just a second. So you can create your project with that like Ionic start and the tab name that you like want to choose plus the project name. So let's say if you want to create an app with my app as name, so just write Ionic start my app with the Bootstrap tutorial. So the Bootstrap tutorial means like a starter template which Ionic provides you by default, so that you don't have to worry about all the project architecture and all that stuff. So you can use that directly from there. So I'm using their template that they created for tutorial purposes. So and the name is tutorial. So you can use it like that. And you have to define a type as well. And this type generally means like which Ionic version that you want to use. Like let's say if you want to use Ionic 3, so you have Ionic 2 or 3, then you have to use Ionic Angular over here. Or if you want just want to like make a project with Ionic 1, then you have to use Ionic 1 over here. And if you want to use Ionic 4 for your project, then you have to write Ionic Angular over here. Okay, so this is the main command that you can use. Now, if you want to view what all options are there, like the starter templates and all that, so just use this Ionic start with your app name, or with your app name, and then use the help. So this will give you a list on your terminal regarding like what all you can use in there. So which will give you output something like this. Just a second. So you can expect this kind of input from output from this Ionic start my app help section. This will actually like tell you like these are templates are available, like example commands over here, and then the commands for the inputs over here. So this is a pretty important section which you can use all the time for your project. Okay, now let's quickly create one project that we want to use for our template right now. Okay, so I'll just quickly type out the main command that we want to use to create our main project for this webinar. So I'll write like uh, inex start, and then I'll with my app, my app, my new app, and then with tutorial, and then with the type thing I can use as Ionic Angular. The same command that I've shown you over here, but with Ionic Angular in mind. Okay, so this, yeah, this. Use this command to create your first project. Okay, uh, when you're done with this, if you have like VS Code, because I'm using VS Code over here, just go to the folder of your like the same app which I've just created, with like change directly to my app, and you'll get there. Okay, and then after this you can write this code dot, so it will like directly prompt you to your VS Code section with this project. Okay, now due to some tech issues, I'm not able to screencast my VS Code window with you guys. So we'll try to set it up like later for our next webinar, I think. But till then, I can like show you what architecture that you should follow and what all things you can follow in your code. So please be like hands-on with me. So when you guys will create your first project, just say yes in that comment section so that I can like go ahead and like tell you like what is the main like the project architecture for you guys, and what you should choose, and why you should like use Ionic 1, 2, 3, or 4. And please use this command to like make your first project for Ionic 2 or 3, because Ionic 3 uh, is the most useful version they have released till now, and like most number of like maximum number of developers uses this Ionic 3 version. They are switching to Ionic 4 slowly, but Ionic 3 is the main version that everyone uses these days. Okay, so just after getting your first project, just say over here so that I can start it up describing about the architecture. Yeah, Utkarsh. Okay, so first I should tell you like how it all started. So in 2013, Ionic team they started developing the Ionic 1 framework first, where they used Angular directives to create a new set of components and a new set of UI library kind of thing, which they presented with Ionic 1. Uh, but back then there were no components thing like ECMAScript, which is JavaScript actually, was old and there were no components thing in that. So they switched to INIC 2 or 3 thing, which actually uses yeah. So they started working on INIC 2 and INIC 3 part, and they used component based architecture in that, which was like faster and efficient than the INIC 1 part. And now as like new trends are coming up, so they switched to INIC 4, which they're calling as INIC for everyone, where you can use like anything like React, Vue, or Angular to code your stuff, because they are using native web APIs, which directly compiles to your browser, and there are no limitations on the framework that you want to use to like build your application. But in INIC 2 or in INIC 3, they like you can only use the Angular and TypeScript part to build your application for that. So that's the main difference. And architecture wise, INIC 4, as they are saying, because it is like much more efficient, or they are calling it as like most complete and like the most efficient version of INIC till now. So if you want to like choose INIC 4 over INIC 3, it's completely cool. But uh, as I said before, like maximum number of developers are on INIC 3, because the apps which are on INIC 3, like the professional apps and all that, they can be converted to INIC 4, but it's a difficult part to convert down. So that's why. Now I hope that everyone created their first project with the command that I provided. Now just open that project like in your favorite text editor, whichever you want to go. So I have opened the same in my text editor. Yeah, okay. So here's the question comes up like the difference between JS and TypeScript, JS and TS. Okay, so TypeScript, as you go through their official documentation, you'll find they said there that TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. So yes, it has all those features which JavaScript has. Plus, they are using the types for all the features, so that it becomes a more strict type language. Plus, it is more static. The code will be like more modular than JavaScript, because in TypeScript we uses like maximum all oops concepts in that. Like you have to define classes in that. Like you have to define exports in that. Without that, uh, your code won't get compiled in TypeScript. So this is the main part, like the main difference they used. Plus, in TypeScript, your code, like you have to write less code as compared to JavaScript, because when you start creating classes, your code becomes like uh, you can reuse it whenever you want to. Like you can use components in that, like so a single component can get reused directly. But in JavaScript, this thing was not possible, though it is like now possible in some frameworks like Angular and all that, Angular JS mainly. So you can even make components over there, but it came like after a long time in latest versions of Angular JS. So the main part that we should focus upon is like TypeScript is like very strict type language, but JavaScript isn't. Okay, Piyush, I guess your user library where all node models are get installed aren't right, I guess. So that's why you're facing this problem, as whenever you try to install that file, that CLI isn't getting uh, copied over there. Like when you install something, you get the download for that part in your modules, but due to this write access, you are not able to do that. So please try to use sudo before that command, or please try to provide this the access to this directly, or do check that you have a bash profile over there. If you're still facing this problem, then go and like start using nvm for to manage different versions of node, so that you don't have this kind of problem. Okay. If you still face this problem like after like 1 or 2 hours, then do contact me directly. I'll definitely try to solve your problem. Okay. Till then, let's move on to the project architecture part that I want to discuss mainly with you guys. Okay. So the part that I want to discuss with you is related to this. You all can see that you're in a project. There is a folder known as called as source. Okay, so open this folder. If you have followed me like till now, so uh, you have made your project with this tutorial template. So our project will look similar, like with every expect and everything. So I just want you guys to open the first file, which is called as the entry component for our application, which is index.html. So just go there and like check it up, like what is there and how it's done and all that stuff. Okay, so when you open the index.html, it will look something like this. So here we have this, uh, the main part of index.html is actually it provides a route to your application, so that where all the template can get like inserted in your application directly. So we are not going to spend like most of our time on this, because it isn't necessary to like add anything over here. Everything gets added to this automatically, so you don't have to worry about this. But still, the main part is that you should understand like what is it and how the code is getting inserted in this, and how it is an entry point for the application. So I just quickly go through and like tell you what all is here. So we have like this thing over here, which is actually the codeover.js, which provides your app the native compatibility, so that your app can run on iOS and Android directly. So this is the file that is like required to do that stuff. Then we have some scripts embedded in this, like this, the main.css file. Like your CSS gets compiled to this file, so that it will render on your application. Then this Ionic app tag is the main tag that we can use to like insert all the code that is in your application to a single place. So yes, whenever Ionic runs or builds your application and it tries to emulate that on browser or any place, it directly targets this tag. All of the code should get inserted in this place, so that it can emulate on browser directly. Okay. And then we have this polyfills.js file over here. In this file, So this file is actually quite interesting. So thing which happens is old browser, they don't support latest JavaScript features like after 2000, after ES 2015. uh, there are many changes which went live for Chrome, for many browsers, but the old browsers like Internet Explorer like 7 or like 8, they don't support that. So polyfill provides a method so that your code gets compiled to them depending on the browser version. So every application which gets compiled or which gets built uses different polyfill JS versions for providing it, for providing the same code for different browsers so that your app can run seamlessly and you don't have to worry about it like, do I have to make compatibility with this browser, do I have to make compatibility with this kind of environment and all that. That's all is handled by polyfills. Okay, now we have this vendor.js. So everything like your node modules, they get converted to a single JS file which is called a vendor.js, so that whenever app runs and it requires some external library features, they all get extracted from this vendor.js. Okay, and then we have this build slash main.js. This is your logic file basically, like whatever logic you write for your application, it's get converted to a single minimalistic JS file which is called as main.js. Okay, so this is the part, like this is the main part for index HTML thing. Now I just quickly remove it from here and then like paste the main file that I want you guys to like check upon. Okay, so go in your app folder and you'll find a main file over there. So go to main file and you can check your app folder over there and you'll find a file called as app.module.ts. Okay, so in app.module.ts, this file. So what happens is this is again an entry component for your application, but this component is actually like the main important part for it. Okay, so this part that you're like seeing over here is app.module.ts file, which I've just like picked up from the project that we all created. Okay, so in this, you'll see there are many imports over here, and then like some ng module over here, and then export class something over here. So this file, app.module.ts, is actually your main entry component for your application, and you will spend like around 5% of your like whole development of an application on this file, because you have to like list everything what all you're going to use in your application to this file. Okay, so like in this, first I should like tell you what import is and and how you can use that. So this file like import browser module from add Angular slash platform browser. This simply means like you are importing a class from this place platform browser which is provided by Angular to you directly. So, and in the same method, we can say like we can use import ng model error handler from Angular core. So it's simply like importing a class like we used to do in C++. Like we kind of inherit a class that we declared above in our code. So we can use that like with new operator or by creating a new object of that class like that. So this is this is actually a similar way of importing a module that we have like exported in our parent class like that. Okay, so here like as we are importing it, so we can use it directly in our application. So this is the main part where you have to like apply all the libraries that you're going to use in your application. The main part that I want to like focus is this ng module. Here we have different attributes to it like declarations, imports, bootstrap, entry components, providers. Okay, so whenever you create a new component or you create a new service or a provider, you have to inject it over here so that your whole application will get to know that yes, we have something over here. Just like I've created this one already, import this central service provider from this. So I want you guys to like go to your terminal again and go to this project directory and just type over there like this. Just like I'm in my directory now. So just go there and type Ionic generate provider and then a provider name like central service and then just hit enter after it like this. And then you'll see that a new service or a new provider will get created on this one, which will directly get added to your app.module.ts like this. So if you guys don't know what is a service actually, just like wait for like 10 minutes. I'll quickly make you understand what is a service and what is a component actually. Okay. Till then, I just want to like let you know that you whenever you create a new component or a new page, you have to add that over here, like with this and and then the same component is declared and then you have to provide it in the entry components part as well. It's just like C++ again, like you have to declare it and then you have to define it that you're going to use it. So use it like this one. So you have to again list the same thing over here. Okay, now this imports part is actually for special purposes. You don't have to worry about it and I don't think that you're going to change much in the imports part. So imports part is mainly for adding the new modules to it. Like let's say if you want to import some storage module to it, so then you can install it and then you can like embed it in over here. Or if you want to like use HTTP request module, so you can again like add it over here like let's say after writing like that, you can use HTTP module over here like that. But that is not required as of now because we are not building a full stack application currently. We are just like going through the stuff for our first webinar. Okay, then this bootstrap is actually the place like how your app going to bootstrap it, like how your app going to start or how your app going to like get all the sources that is required and how all they get compiled and all that. So we are never going to change it, like it will be same always, like bootstrap just Ionic app, which simply means bootstrap this Ionic app directly and compile it directly. It's like that. Okay, and from this one we exported a class like I can say like I have all this code and I want to provide this code to somewhere else and I simply write it as like export class app module because I created my module over here and I exported it over here. Okay, so it's like that. It's enough for me to like tell you about app.modular ts directly. Okay, so now let's move on to the main component, like the root component of our application, like where we write the main part, the main interaction part. So let's please open this file which you all have, app.component.ts, which is in the app folder where the app model ts was there. Okay, so this is the file. Over here you can see that we imported the same kind of same thing in a similar method, like import component or this from this angular slash core, and then we have imported some pages like the which are actually our components, which I'm just going to tell you like what is a component, how we can make one, and then we imported some plugins as well. Okay, so so I'll quickly go through this stuff, like what is Apple component TS and why I'm calling it as a root component. So let's say I made an application and then I made its build, and I'm trying to run it on my device directly. Okay, like Android device. So whenever your app opens, first a splash screen pops up. Okay, and then your app gets initialized first. That's why we see loading time for like 2 or 3 seconds on the splash screen itself. That is because your app is getting initialized at that time. And as I told you before, like we have this index HTML where the Ionic app gets some code in that tag directly. So from where that code comes up, this is the part. Yes, Apple component or TS is actually the root component just because it handles all the code that is going to get pushed in that Ionic app tag directly. Okay, so here we like do all the high level stuff, like we go and play with all the main plugins over here. Like you can see the splash screen plugin is over here. As I said, like when your app gets built and then it's open, so first splash screen pops up. So that is why we keep the splash screen plugin in this component. Now why I'm calling everything as a component and as a page. So please understand this, whenever we talk about mobile applications and whenever we talk about hybrid mobile applications and all that, so we have to use vocabulary according to that. And the best way the developers, like the best way how developers will communicate with each other is like breaking down the parts in pages or in components, because we cannot say all the time like this is my screen, this is my screen, this is my screen 1, this is my screen 2, just like people say in Android like activity 1, activity 2. It's like that. So you can like simply say an activity can be a component, or like 2 or 3 components can make a whole screen, or which I am calling it as a page directly, because in mobile application we handle stack of pages, like your different pages get lay over on one and another so that your app can function directly. Okay, so in this part I should just like first tell you what is this doing, like this component thing, add component thing. This is actually telling you like this is a component, and it's telling you that use this template for this component, like for this ts file. Okay, and this class, the main class that we are exporting it, in which will be get used by its children. Okay, so as I said over here, like the template URL is app.html. So you can also find a file called as app.html in the same directory. Just open it after some time and you can have a look out there like what template is used over there. Okay, Okay, then let's start understanding like what is this, the export class thing. Okay, then let me just complete it by like telling you how it is connected with the app.html part directly. Okay, so here we have defined a variable called as root page, and we are providing it the hello Ionic page which we've imported over here. So, and when you will visit its app.html part, you will find that we have. So this is my app.html. This. Okay, so this part is my app.html, and you can see like I have a menu and a header and toolbar over here. So plus I have a navigation provided as root over here, and I'm saying like it's my root page. So this root page which I've defined in my constructor over here, yeah, this. So this is correct, gets connected to my app.html, and my app starts to render just because I've provided like this is my root page and use that root page in my app.html, and my app.html is getting connected to that index.html part which I've explained you before. So that's how our app gets connected and gets compiled, and after that it's get emulated on a web browser when you run it with Ionic server or something. Okay, so it's it's kind of messy right now. So I just like complete uh, basic understanding for your like TypeScript thing. Yes, just a thing like how our methods defined in TypeScript like in the classes. So we have a constructor over here just like we use it in OOPS. Okay, for that you have to provide some basically I'll call it as tags or something. Like you have to like we do this thing in C++ like we use new object for a single class. So the same way is followed over here. Like I'm using this public platform. I'm giving it a name as platform, and I'm using this class which I've defined over here, import platform. Okay. So in this we can use it like just a second. Okay, now after this, I have this function with a method that I've defined called as initialize app, which is like self-explorated already. So you can understand like initialize app, it simply does simply the work for the initialization of your application. Uh, and over here you can use this platform.ready.then, and then you can do all the high level work over here. Like you can You can make your splash screen hide after this because your app is initialized now, and you can do all the logical part after this. And you can also make the status bar highlighting in default and all that present stuff. Okay, and this thing like using the open page method, with this you can like use the open page part like for different things. Okay, now now as we know that we are facing like a little problem like in the technical stuff, as my code screen is not getting screencasted in this tutorial directly. So I would like to like answer your questions. It would be like better if I'll answer your questions directly right now, because it is difficult to like let you understand how all the stuff is getting connected right now. So please start asking whatever question you want. And we can like continue everything in our next webinar when we'll set up everything perfectly, so that you won't face any error or glitch in streaming. And we are planning to like make a full-fledged application, full stack application in our next webinar. So till then you can ask whatever the questions you have. If you have any problem like setting up your Ionic, if you have any problem in understanding the things I've just explained you, like related to TypeScript and all that, you can also follow TypeScript blogs or TypeScript official documentation to learn TypeScript a bit, so that you can go ahead and create your own apps. Okay, so till then, start asking questions, whatever you have with me. I didn't get you, Maninder, like what you're saying, like Ionic the developer come क्यों है? Okay, so this is actually a good question. Like you like why we are not using Ionic as compared to React Native, or I think Flutter is new, so everyone using Flutter these days. So I can say uh, Ionic doesn't have a good marketing strategy to marketize their Ionic framework, whereas like React, they are powered by Facebook, so they have a great marketing strategy plus a great community right now. But if you like compare all these frameworks to their root level, you will like find out that they have common thing, like they uses JavaScript these days, and their code gets compiled for different platforms directly. So on the root level, I don't think there would be a much difficulty in using Ionic or in using any framework like React. Plus, I think they are starting to marketize their product more, so that's why they created Ionic 4, which has like Ionic for everyone, where you can use React, Vue, or Angular, whatever you want to code your stuff. So in Ionic 4, nothing is limited to just Angular. So I think that would be a good choice if you like want to go ahead with that. But yes, the main problem is that we have like very few Ionic developers in the community today, and I think that's the main root cause for the problem is the marketing strategies, and in some parts where Ionic like is not that good as compared to React Native, but there are also parts where Ionic is better than React Native, which we can discuss like further if we want to. Okay, any more questions that anyone want to ask? Uh, like if your errors didn't get resolved, then do contact me on WhatsApp or use any social method to contact me. I'll definitely get in touch and like resolve your errors. So I think we should wrap this up now because as we are not getting enough response from audience. But it was a good start for us, and we will surely like make our next webinar more fruitful for everyone, and we'll definitely try to like give you a live hands-on experience for the code part directly, and like we'll try to explain you better in like everything in a better way. Okay, so as Mahinder like asked, like Ionic is hybrid and Flutter is cross-platform. So first of all, just want to like tell you that these things are very similar to each other. Like the cross-platform thing and hybrid application thing is very similar. As you notice, like React Native also says that their method is like native to their environment. Like for Android, it's properly native, and for iOS, it's properly native. Same thing goes with Flutter as well. But for Ionic, the main problem which developers face is that it is hybrid, and we call it as a hybrid because you write code like once, like in in a single place, but when it's get compiled, a web view comes up. It's not a purely native process. Uh, it actually gets compiled to a web view. So you have to use a web view for your application. So there we we didn't get that much performance in our application as compared to React Native. But yes, uh, hybrid and cross like simply means a similar product or similar thing. It's not just that different. The difference only comes up when you like start getting into deep stats and all that. Okay, so like I think this is quite expressive already. Like what is difference between normal app and an hybrid app is like let's say you develop an application for Android. So then you have to code it in Android and you have to make everything related to Android part. So it's called a normal application. It's called as a native application for Android. But when you work on a hybrid application, everything you write in a single place. Then you can use that app. You can use that code for Android. You can use that for code for iOS. You can use that code for browser as well. You can use that code for Windows as well. You can use that code for Mac OS as well. So it's like it makes your life much easier as compared to writing an application in the native part. And all these frameworks like do the same thing these days. Like it can be React Native, it can be Vue part, or it can be Flutter, it can be Ionic framework. So they all do the same thing these days. I think that answers our question, Utkarsh. Any more questions? I think normal questions are coming up. So I should like wrap this thing up. Okay then guys, thank you so much for attending this webinar. Uh, and I know it was not that good, like as per your expectations, and but we'll try to make it like better next time, and we'll try to provide you hands-on experience in that, and we'll try to like come up with a good solution and a good application that you can build along with me. Plus, do ask me whatever the questions you have, whatever the problems that you face in your Ionic development part. I'll be in touch. Okay, thank you so much.